Okay, yes, it sounds good in retrospect. You have all these plans. Like behind me, I have this whiteboard, and this whiteboard has all these plans of all these great things I want to do. But if I do nothing with it, then it is pointless. It's literally a waste of time and it's a waste of effort. I am taking you on a journey of revival in my life and the life of others, in hope that your life will be revived in the process. All right, so we are back with another podcast episode, and I am super excited. We did not make a podcast episode last week. The reason why is because we were a part of this amazing high ticket seller summit, and I was just super blessed to be able to be a part of that. But today, this is why I'm talking about what I'm talking about, is that you cannot underestimate coaching and accountability. So we're going to get into that today. We're going to talk about what coaching means to you and how coaching has not only impacted my life, but has impacted a lot of other people's lives. And it's allowed them to pretty much jumpstart their business and jumpstart them in anything, whether that be sports, whether that be music. But it helps them excel to a level where normally they're not going to be able to excel on their own. And so instead of having to reinvent the wheel, literally you are learning from what other people are doing and you're implementing stuff that they are telling you to do because they know it works, right? But the hardest part about actually executing is doing just that. So that is why accountability is so important, because you need someone to be like, hey, are you still doing this? And when you're not doing what you said you were going to, they need to call you on it so that you can both be on the same page and realize, yes, I am not doing enough to get to the places that I want to be. And so that is what we're talking about today. And I'm super pumped because the last weekend from Thursday through Sunday, literally I spent every day just getting a whole bunch of value and learning a whole bunch of good stuff. And so that is why I'm sharing this with you. And the next weeks to come, I'm going to be sharing a lot more stuff, a lot of good stuff that I have learned, from other people with a ton more experience than I have myself. But with that, we're going to take a quick break to thank our sponsors. Have you wanted to make a podcast but didn't know how to get started? That was me until I found Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more platforms. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That is ANCHOR.FM to get started now. So many people want to start a business but don't know how. Our mission is to help you discover and live your passion by architecting a profitable business that delivers incredible value to the market and profits to you. Step 1 is to discover. You're going to work with a coach one-on-one to discover what has held you back until now. You're going to set new goals and explore suitable opportunities to design and finance the lifestyle you want. There's going to be 3 different avenues you can go down. The first one is direct sales and affiliate marketing, where you can get paid $30 to $3,000 per sale in commissions. The second avenue is lead generation for businesses, where you can learn how to start your own agency and deliver targeted leads to hungry businesses. You will get paid $2,500 to $5,000 per month per paying client. And the third thing is to earn 100% passive income. And you can do this by investing into a done-for-you, hands-off e-commerce store managed by us. Step 2 is commit. With the help of your coach, you can choose the path that is most aligned with what you want to do. Step 3 is train. In addition to step-by-step training inside the custom ACE marketing sales system, you'll get personal mentorship from your sponsor and team leader, Facebook mastermind support groups, multiple live weekly calls, and live events all over the world. Step 4 is to succeed. Phase 1 is to earn revenue. Build a digital business that supplements your current income and gives you breathing room. Phase 2 is growing wealth. Create multiple streams of revenue. Transition to a full-time entrepreneur with security. And phase 3 is investment on investment. Bills paid, debt free, and your money is making more money while you enjoy time freedom. If this interests you, go to therevivalcouple.com to get started now. You'll need to put in your name and email address to get access to your free web class now. That is TheRevivalcouple.com to get started now. All right, and so today we are talking about don't underestimate coaching and accountability, and I am just super pumped to get into it, but I'm just going to take you back to like when I first got started playing music, because that was a big part in my life. I know some people will play sports from a really young age. For me, it was music. And so I did play sports. I played basketball, I played football, I played baseball. But the thing I was most passionate about was playing music, creating music. And it is still a passion of mine to this day, because within the next few months, I'm going to go to an audio engineer school, which is literally a school for music production. So, I will eventually be able to say, yes, I finally am able to pursue my passions and my dreams. So that is super cool. But sometimes coaching can be like really uncomfortable and not enjoyable. When I first started playing music, I started playing the guitar, and the first memories I had was that I would be playing and I would be taught how to play something a specific way, and I wasn't able to do it right. And it was hard because your coach is not going to sugarcoat your progress. When you come in and they're like, hey, I gave you these things to do, did you do them? And then you could BS them all you want. You could tell them, yeah, I practiced, I did all this stuff, right? But when you sit down and you start playing, that will be the proof in and of itself. You don't have to tell them. They will hear whether you practice and whether you did the things you were supposed to do, because they will see your improvements the next week. Is it going to be immediate? No. But they will see, and you will see, small and minor improvements from doing those things. So as you receive coaching, ultimately you will start to see the improvements in those areas in your life. And so for me, it was playing guitar in 5th grade. And then in 6th grade, I started playing the trumpet. I started playing it for, band class. And I was pretty musically inclined. Like my ear was really good. I could hear things in a specific way. And, I started off like pretty good, I would say. And naturally, like I was good, but without receiving lessons, I would plateau. There would be a cap on how good I could get, because there's certain things that like experts spend years and years and hours upon hours to, realize how to do things a certain way. For playing guitar, you want to hold the back of the guitar a certain way. For trumpet, you want to hold your trumpet a certain way. You want to do specific things. For basketball, you want to shoot a certain way, right? Like, there's ways to go about it that are going to get better results in comparison to trying to figure it out all yourself. And so for me, I was good and I felt like I was doing amazing. Like I could be, at the time I was the best trumpet player in all of 6th grade, which is nothing, right? But I wanted to be the best musician or trumpet player at the time in school, but I knew I needed to get the help from people who know more to be able to level up in music. And so it was very, very challenging because I wanted to be the best musician, but I knew I could only do so much on my own. How can I advance in my life when there is something that is holding me back? Ask yourself that. If you're in business right now and you're like, Tobias, I've tried so hard, I've done all these things, but I feel like I am not advancing, I'm not improving, I'm not getting to the next level where I want to go. Well, the reason you might not be getting there is because you are trying to do it all on your own. One big way to get better results is to look at things that are already working. If you can implement what is working, it will be a lot easier to create something not exactly like it. Even though you can copy, in your own words, you can copy the same format, you can copy where everything's placed on an ad, you can copy. For me, when I would play music, I would literally listen to professional trumpet players back in the day, right? They're not as relevant today, but unless you're listening to like Wynton Marsalis, right? But they are not as relevant. So I would listen to older trumpet players, and those trumpet players would play solos and different things. What would I do? I would literally copy them. It was called transcribing their solos. I would listen, I would play it back, and I would write it out. I would listen, I would play it back, and I would write it out. I would write it out to the best of my ability to just get a good ear and to be able to copy what is working. They're professionals for a reason, right? They got that good because of endless hours upon hours upon hours of practice. And so instead of trying to create my own solos, if I can copy what they are doing and replicate what they are doing, then when I start soloing, I will use a little bit of what they say here and a little bit of what their solo sounds like here and a little bit of what their solo sounds like there. And then I'll have 3 to 5 to 10 different artists that I've been transcribing and I've been listening and playing back their solos, and I can literally just pull from each one of them. And in the same sense, in business, you can do that too. That is why it is so important not to reinvent the wheel. And so for me, like literally when I was playing music in grade school, I would get passed up for certain parts because I was not good enough. I thought I was good, but clearly I was not as good as I thought I was. I was for a moment, and then other people started getting private lessons, and other people started getting training, and other people started working harder where I naturally was good, and then I plateaued because I was not seeking out advice from the experts. And so it was very challenging because they were surpassing me due to someone else's expertise. And literally having someone take them under their wing, and it jump-started their career in music. They got there because they had a coach. Think about it. If you think back to the best athletes in your high school or the best athletes in your college or the best athletes that you know, right? They didn't just get there because they were born a natural born athlete. They still had to work super hard, and they still had to receive training from someone who was actually good enough to give them that training so they could progress forward. Look at Steph Curry, right? Stephen Curry, Golden State Warriors, his dad played. Him and his brother are amazing three-point shooters. Why? Because their dad literally was coaching them how to be excellent shooters throughout their life. Of course, they had other coaches, they had other people play a role, but since their dad was a professional, he literally had the experience to teach them or show them how to jumpstart into a level that most people couldn't get to by themselves. That is why they are so good. I am 100% convinced that that is why they are good. And I think if we can implement that in our lives and our businesses and our passions or desires, whether that's playing sports, whether that's playing music, whether that is, trying to be the best fisher out there, right? You want to implement what the strategies or the tricks that the professionals are doing that works. You never want to reinvent the wheel. And so, due to that lack of expertise, I would get passed up over and over again. And then I would take second trumpet instead of first trumpet. And I wouldn't have all the solos. And then, I would just be like the backup guy playing. And so it was not as enjoyable because I knew I wanted to do more. I wanted to be better. I wanted to improve, but I didn't know how to improve. And it wasn't that I didn't know how to improve. It was that I couldn't go past the level that I was at because I did not have enough knowledge. I did not have enough knowledge myself to progress forward. So with that, I eventually got some coaching and I did improve. I did get better, but it was just a hard part. And if you look at business, right? Fast forwarding into business, when I started, I felt the same thing. I felt like at first I was pretty good. I was decent. I'd get some sales here. I'd get some sales there. I was like, good at getting people to buy stuff that I was selling. And I thought I was doing good until I looked around and I was like, whoa, this person has made like tens of thousands of dollars online, right? This person has made hundreds of thousands of dollars online. We started at the same time. I'm over here made like maybe a couple grand, and then it's like, what are they doing or how are they getting to the levels that they are at when we both started in the same place? My problem that I was dealing with was that I was trying to do it all myself. I was trying to create my own system. I was trying to figure out the thing that, could literally be the best business way to present my stuff. I was trying to get followers to my stuff my own way, right? Instead of listening to the experts. Why do I need to do it myself when someone else can literally hold my hand or take me, and guide me on the steps that need to be done to get the results I'm looking for? That's when I got angry. At this point, literally, I was angry and I was pissed off. I looked around, I'm like, yo, they are literally leaving their jobs, their full-time jobs, because they've learned a skill set that has allowed them to make enough income to buy back their time. And so I was pissed off. I was angry because they were able to get success, but I was failing. I felt like I am a failure and something needs to change. At this point, literally, I realized that the only way I could get better and to improve in not only my business, but in my life, I realized, even when it came to playing music, now that I look back, like the same thing happened. I needed someone who could coach me, someone who could help me overcome my struggles, the things that I did not know how to fix myself. If you look at it, if you look at people that are going to a gym, when you first start working out, 9 times out of 10, someone has to teach you how to use the different workout equipment at the certain sections. Like if you go there and you just start doing whatever, usually people will be like, hey, you have horrible form and you're going to end up hurting yourself unless you change how you're doing it. If you're not lifting the right way, if you're not keeping your back straight when you're doing a deadlift, if you're not doing these things the proper way, you're going to hurt yourself. And so in the same sense, like someone has to teach you how to get from level 1 to level 2 and from level 2 to level 3 and so on and so forth. Someone has to teach you that and someone has to show you. Trying to figure it out yourself, which you will, it will just take you 10s to 20s to 30 years to figure it out yourself. Why do that if someone literally can give you that jump start that, they're going to decrease the learning time it's going to take for you to accomplish the same thing. So at that point, I realized I need someone else. I need a coach. I need, a music teacher. I need a one-on-one with someone who is succeeding in the area I want to succeed. If you can take a moment and ask yourself, like, where and what is the thing I want to succeed at? Ask yourself that. And now look for people. Make a list, write it down of like 10 people that would help you do better in whatever you're doing, whether that's Amazon automation, like for myself, whether it's a lead gen business, whether it is playing music, whether it's acting, whether it is playing sports, whether it is working out, whether it's being healthier, like whatever it is, whatever your desire, being a better husband, being a better wife, being a better brother, sister, a better family man, being better at finances and budgeting, like all these things apply, right? All these things apply. And you can literally utilize the same thing, the same strategy, which is to look towards someone who has more expertise than you. Make that list and see what you can do to receive coaching from them. So I realized it, right? But I realized I needed a coach, but the problem was that I wanted to be coached by books, which I still, receive a bunch of value from books. I wanted to be coached by YouTube videos. There's a lot of value. There's a lot of, good stuff that you can learn from YouTube videos. I even purchased courses. I went out there, I purchased courses from, multiple different people. And the courses were good. Everything that they were giving me was good. But the one big thing that I was missing, right? The literally biggest thing that I was missing that was holding me back, even when I got the extra knowledge that could jumpstart my business, was accountability. I was not part of a community that was, allowing me to be able to be held accountable. So I could say, yeah, I'm going to do all this stuff. I got all this knowledge. I'm going to succeed. I'm going to win. I'm going to make thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars online, right? I'm just pumping myself up, but then I would do nothing. Why? Because I did not have any accountability. I had people talking to me from a book. I had people talking to me from a YouTube video. I had courses talking to me, but I did not have a community that was able to say, Tobias, are you doing this? When I was younger and I went to guitar lessons each week, or trumpet lessons for that matter, each week they would be able to tell whether I practiced or whether I didn't, because they could see what was happening in my music progression, whether I was becoming better at reading music, whether I was becoming better at improvising or, soloing, they could tell. And in the same sense, if you have a coach, but you don't have any accountability, it's almost pointless. And so as I went to this high ticket seller summit, I realized that the biggest thing is to take action and to have accountability from someone else to, say, hey, are you doing what you are supposed to be doing? And just check in and look at me, be like, hey, I provided this coaching. I provided this coaching. I provided these steps to be able to, allow you to achieve business success, whatever that may look like in your eyes, whether that's a lot more time, whether that's a lot more money, whatever it is in your eyes. I personally think it's time. I realize that time is more valuable than money. A lot of people have to spend all their time doing something that they don't want to do to get money to purchase things that really don't matter that much. But when you start looking at the grand scheme of things, at least in my eyes, is time is the most valuable, the most important thing, because when you have all the money in the world, you're not going to be able to buy everything you want. Look at the first trillionaire that we've had, Jeff Bezos, right? Of Amazon. You think he cares about how much money he has? I don't think so. I think he has so much money that he literally can do whatever he wants whenever he wants. And not only him, his kids and his kids' kids, and for generations to come, they are going to be covered because of trillions of dollars of net worth that he has. When you realize that your time is the most important thing, then you start realizing that you need to be able to live now. And the only way to live now is to create something that buys back that time from either an employer or whatever you're doing that you may not enjoy. If you're doing something that you do enjoy, keep doing it. But if you have to rely on that thing that you're doing to make you extreme amounts of money. Like if I went into music production and was just like, yeah, that's going to be my full-time income. Well, realistically, they start off at 20,000 a year. I cannot live off that. My family can't live off that. My wife alone probably can't live off that. You know what I mean? Like it's very challenging. And so you have to realize what success is in your eyes. For me, it is time. But I needed someone to be there. I needed a community to keep me accountable. But not only that, I needed a personal coach to keep me accountable as well. And that's why, I got started with this program, and I'm super pumped for it because we're going to be providing so much value to so many people and changing other people's lives that like it just brings a huge smile to my face. Because if you know anything about me, if you listen to some of these podcast episodes, you realize that at first when I got into business, I wanted to make money. I wanted to have my time back. I wanted to be about me, right? But as I started receiving the impacts from growing and from seeing how beneficial it is to my life and how much joy it's brought me and how much hope and how much excitement it's literally brought me for my life. I think if I can help out 10 to 100 people do this in their lives, it would just be astronomical, like to the amount of value they would receive, and not only change their lives. The people who get this change in their lives, literally their families are impacted, their communities are impacted, the people around them are impacted because of it. And it will honestly make a huge change in thousands of people's life just from personally coaching 10 to 100 people. It's insane. And so from this, I realized I needed accountability. So I joined a community, and not only a community, I've joined, personal coaching programs where people will actually call me out and they will give me step-by-step guides, but they will also be like, hey, why aren't you doing this? Okay, yes, it sounds good in retrospect. You have all these plans. Like behind me, I have this whiteboard, and this whiteboard has all these plans of all these great things I want to do. But if I do nothing with it, then it is pointless. It's literally a waste of time, and it's a waste of effort. Without the accountability, without the action, nothing is going to happen. And so that is something that I saw as other business owners surpassed me, and as other business owners made a lot of money because they literally just said, oh, this person is telling me to do this. Okay, I'm going to go do it. Oh, this person says I should probably be involved in communities that are going to improve me and allow me to grow in different areas that, I'm struggling in. Okay, I'll do that. I'll kick out the money. I'll kick out my time and I'll go do that because ultimately it's going to impact my business. All right. They were wise in that sense because they took the action that they needed to take. And so that really just opened my eyes. I realized that no matter how much coaching I got, coaching is a must, right? But I realized no matter how much coaching I got, that if I did not have the action or the accountability to take that action, or someone to call me on my stuff, on my BS, to be like, yeah, you did not practice this week, like going back to music. Yeah, you did not implement setting up Facebook ads. You didn't implement creating a funnel or an offer or, a strategy to be able to have a long-lasting business. If I don't have someone to call me on that, then I'm potentially going to just stay where I'm at. I'll have all this knowledge without any action put behind it, which is useless knowledge. So from this, I have literally been able to set up a YouTube channel. Most of you will see me on this from YouTube, and create content consistently, like on Facebook. Instagram is kind of a reach for me. It's really hard. There are ways that I'm going to overcome those struggles and those hiccups that, I'm dealing with, but this has not only allowed me to grow in my personal life, it's also allowed me to grow in my professional life. And the reason why it has allowed me to grow in both is because I am learning. And as I am learning, I can go out and I can teach other people. I can go out and I can be a better spouse because now I'm not having to spend all my time stressing about these things that I don't know how to take care of. Now I can go to my coach, to the person who has accountability with me, and I can get those answers from him or her or whoever it may be, right? I can get my answers from them, and they will literally guide me through the challenges, through the difficulties, therefore bypassing all the learning curve that is typically needed when you don't know where to go. You don't know how to increase your sales. And in each place in business, you could be at 100,000, 1 million a year. There are always going to be challenges that come up that stop you in your tracks that you will not know how to overcome. And that's why you have to seek out coaching, and you have to be willing to have accountability. Accountability is scary because you have to be vulnerable. You have to tell them, yes, I'm not doing what I'm doing. You have to be honest with yourself, and you have to be like, I am missing the mark because of the actions I'm taking. And they will reassure you that, yes, your actions are not there and you're not receiving the results you want because you're not doing enough. This brings me on to the last thing I wanted to share, which is from starting off until now, I've transformed in so many ways, right? Now I dedicate my life to personal growth, and I am willing to help other people overcome areas that they may be struggling with that I was previously. I now understand, like, literally, that if I am not growing, or if I do not have someone else there to keep me accountable, then I will fail every single time. This can be in business. This can be in my personal relationship. This can be in my spiritual relationship. This can be in every aspect of my life. If I do not have someone there to keep me accountable, if I do not have someone there to help me keep growing, then I will fail every single time. I do not know everything, right? There are so many things I do not know. And I have come to understand that I will never know everything. I will always have things that I don't know and things that I can improve and grow on. And this is why I have dedicated my life to learning, growing, and being part of a group or a community of people that will keep me accountable each and every day. So that is my biggest, transformation through all of this, and through my understanding of coaching and accountability. I hope you guys took something away from this podcast episode. I know there was a lot of good stuff there. But the biggest takeaway I hope you are getting from this is that no matter where I'm at in life, I need a coach, and I need that coach to keep me accountable. That YouTube coaching is great. That reading books is great. But without action, nothing gets accomplished. Without accountability, nothing gets accomplished either. Because then you don't have someone kicking you in the butt and, keeping you in line and moving you along to keep going, even when you don't feel like going. That's like having your personal trainer at the gym. He's yelling at you, get back up, come on, one more set, 3 more reps, 5 more reps, whatever it is, right? They're yelling at you, they're amping you up, they're pumping you up, even when you don't feel like it, because they know that is what's best for you. You've laid out what you want to do, where you want to go, what you want to accomplish, and they are going to keep you on that path to be able to get there. If you liked this podcast episode, definitely drop a like down below. If you think someone else will find value from it, share it because it makes me smile like I am right now. As always, guys, let's go out there. Let's revive our lives together. Let's get it done. And until the next podcast episode, have a good one.